Good news, guys. There's finally a mythic that doesn't cost 10 trillion Robux to obtain. Yeah, I know, shocking. It's called the SR-3 Vikhr, and it's only 200 Robux, which is like 10 times cheaper than a lot of mythics in this game. But the question we need to ask ourselves is whether or not it's worth the price. In today's video, we're going to be taking a look at all aspects of the SR-3, evaluating its performance in all fields and comparing it to its peers to decide whether or not the gun is worth a purchase. We're going to start with the range performance. The Vikhr is stated to be optimized for close quarters combat, and even though this is the case, it's also excellent at hitting enemies who are far away. When directly compared with the Fall Heavy, it has superior accuracy, being able to hit more shots from the same range. When scoped, the two guns are virtually identical. The Vikhr technically has superior range, but it's to an extent that you would only notice the difference in a controlled environment, meaning that it is not relevant to war Tycoon combat. When it comes to close quarters DPS, the SR-3 proves to be superior to the Fall Heavy, being able to kill a player in roughly 1 second whilst the Fall takes 2. However, the Fall is able to dish out higher DPS via headshots in close quarters combat, killing a player in 200 less milliseconds than it takes for the SR-3 to. Because of the fact that the FAL or the Fall outperforms the SR-3 in close range with the proper accuracy, I don't think it's fair to say that the SR-3 is totally superior in close quarters combat. So then how do we decide which is the better gun? Let's pit them up against one another in a close quarters combat scenario. In these clips, I'm sparring with my friend Ace inside of the Tycoon. The SR-3 dominates when in close proximity to your enemy. The high fire rate and laser-like accuracy blinds your enemies via the screen blur when you take damage, allowing you to quickly sweep them and kill them. However, the performance of the SR-3 quickly falls apart when fighting in medium to long range. Sure, it's accurate, but the Fall has far higher potential for damage, meaning that it's able to compensate. In summary, I don't think that the SR-3 is worth the price tag. By no means is it a bad gun, it's very powerful in the correct circumstances. However, the FAL Heavy costs the same amount of Robux and is far more versatile. If you were able to only choose one of these guns to have in your kit, the FAL would provide tons more value. Also, there are guns that are not only free, but also superior to the SR-3 in both versatility and damage output. Notably, the KS-1 and the MCX Spear, two masterclasses of free rifles, outperform the SR-3 in most metrics. At the end of the day, the SR-3 is just an ASVAL with a slight stat buff, and really is not worth the Robux. Whether or not you want one for collection purposes or otherwise is up to you, so good luck.